Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, one neighborhood in Bradenton concerned after dozens of flyers reading White Lives Matter appeared outside of their homes. The papers distributed on Easter morning and still there 1 week later. ABC7's Erica Jackson spoke to some of those neighbors on 28th Street West where those flyers were found, and she joins us live from there with some reactions. Erica?
Adam, I found this baggie earlier today, 1 week after neighbors say it was distributed, and inside of it, a couple of rocks, also one flyer that reads White Lives Matter, and another one with the quote, "It's not racist that we love our race and our heritage." And also in that bag was an URL leading to the website for white supremacy group Endangered Souls, which says it's inspired by white supremacy leader David Lane, who died just a few years ago. Their message is heard loud and clear by neighbors, some Caucasian, African American, and Hispanic. Many of these people are now afraid to show their identities, telling us they're disturbed by these flyers found outside their doors. But a cooperating attorney for the ACLU tells us the group did not violate any laws with its message.
In this day and age, you'd think that people would be more acceptable to other people. It's just, it's mind-boggling, actually.
As far as the speech itself, the government cannot regulate the speech based on the content of the speech. So even though some people may find it offensive or frightening, it doesn't cross the lines. It is First Amendment protected the way that it's been phrased.
And just before the show, we did hear back from Endangered Souls. We will share their message, and we'll hear more from that attorney coming up tonight at 11. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Erica Jackson. Adam, back to you.
All right, Erica, thank you very much. Elsewhere in Bradenton, one family will not be staying in their home tonight after a woman drove through their neighbor's lawn and through their garage. The Bradenton police were called to this scene around 2 this afternoon after an elderly woman apparently suffered a medical episode and blacked out. She ended up driving through lawns in a residential neighborhood near Southern Parkway West and 33rd Avenue Drive West until she crashed into this home with 2 people inside.
Started probably about a block from here. It seems to be a medical episode, and the driver just blacked out, it seems, struck a few objects, struck another vehicle down there, but obviously the worst of it's here.
The driver of the car suffered only minor injuries but was transported to the hospital for evaluation. The couple inside the home was not injured, and a building official is currently evaluating that home but is expected to determine that it is too damaged to live in at this time. Follow up now on the wildfires happening across our state and even in our area. All evacuation orders have been rescinded in Collier County, Polk County, and Lee County for 3 separate wildfires. As of this afternoon, officials say the Collier County fire has been 50% contained. The fire grew as large as 5,500 acres and destroyed 9 homes, 2 vehicles, and 2 sheds. Another fire sparked on Thursday just south of Golden Gate Boulevard caused another blaze of 350 acres in size, and that fire has been fully contained. Fire officials say the rain yesterday was a large factor in their fight to control the blazes, and they hope the weather will continue to cooperate.
Monday, we're looking at strong winds out of the west, pushing the fire in a different direction should it break out or should we get a new fire from the possible thunderstorms that are out there. So we do have active crews out there working with heavy equipment out in the area. We're going to continue to monitor the situation, take active efforts out there, and keep working forward to control this fire.
The fire in Polk County is now 75% contained as well, and the fire units in Lee County have completely cleared their scene. And you heard it right there, weather a big factor in fighting these wildfires. Let's check with ABC7's Wendy Ross for a look at our weather in the area.
And Adam, we had that low pressure system that had been to the south of us cross over the state and is now located out here in the Atlantic. And it was responsible for the showers and heavy thunderstorms that we saw along the southeastern coastline. We got a little bit of benefit from that as we had some spillover showers move into our area. But we had very spotty rains throughout the day today. And we are looking at at the cold front now moving down across the state of Florida, and this frontal system may help to set up some showers, some additional ones for us a little bit later on. In the meantime, though, you can see we're just looking at partly cloudy skies across the region. A couple of showers have broken out, and we're hoping to see a few more coming on in for tonight. But right now, we're only calling for a 20% chance of showers sometime before 9 o'clock tonight. Adam?
All right, Wendy, thank you very much. A piece of artwork meant to illustrate a changing landscape in the Newtown community is now taking fire on social media. Sarasota architect Jerry Sparkman created this piece for the Center for Architecture Sarasota's Human Tales on Refrigerator Doors exhibit. Sparkman's door, titled The Face of MLK, appears to show syringes, small plastic bags filled with white powder, speakers, and basketball shoes, to name a few items. Sparkman says he paired objects from the new projects near the Ringling College of Art and Design with, quote, found objects from the neighborhood, seeming to suggest some of this drug paraphernalia was actually found in Newtown. The artwork has been on display locally since the beginning of April, but the pictures recently posted online have been met with mostly negative reaction. Changing its complexion, one person writes, are they trying to be blatant about how this is racist? Another local resident writing, how is that even racist? I don't really understand that. And to join the conversation, you can leave a comment on our Facebook page, mysuncoast.com/ABC7. The 35th annual Suncoast Boat Show holding its final day after a long weekend run in downtown Sarasota. Visitors of the show got to experience different types of vessels, from cruisers to sport fishers to yachts from some of the Gulf Coast's leading boat dealers, while also enjoying the sunny atmosphere, food, drinks, and music.
Oh, it's great. It's local. It's small enough where you can get around it easily, and it's big enough where you have a big variety of boats. We look at boats and compare them to our boat all the time, compare what we want and what we like, what we dislike.
If you missed the event or would like to see it again, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show will be held on November 1st through the 5th for those who don't mind driving to south part of the state. A Tennessee teenager is on the road to recovery this weekend after being reunited with her family. Elizabeth Thomas went missing a month ago. Her father now speaking publicly for the first time since authorities found her last week. ABC's Chuck Sievertson has that story.
I actually got out of the vehicle and I ran to where she was. It was just amazing to finally get to see her.
Anthony Thomas, happy and hopeful, a dramatic change from just a week ago when his 15-year-old daughter Elizabeth was still missing.
I had just gotten to the point where I had no hope left.
Authorities found Elizabeth and her former high school teacher, Tad Cummins, holed up in a cabin in Northern California. She had been missing for more than a month.
Her personality's there. It's just not all the way her. You kind of get this big feeling something's wrong.
I mean, sometimes she'll be happy and laughing and back to the same old girl, and then she'll be sometimes just in a fetal position crying.
Cummins is now in FBI custody, facing federal charges after allegedly kidnapping the teen and taking her on the run from Tennessee to Oklahoma, then California.
Still on food I gave them.
The caretaker of the cabin where they were found revealing the conditions where the 50-year-old Cummins and teenager were living.
She hadn't been showering, and you look at the cabin, the inside of the cabin they were in. I mean, it looked like, basically living in a garage.
Thomas says officials told him money and food was running out, and Elizabeth had been eating flowers.
She had lost some weight for sure. She looked like she'd really been through a lot.
Cummins surrendered without incident. Now the Thomas family is focused on getting Elizabeth reintegrated back home, while knowing there are some questions they can't ask and some answers they aren't ready to hear. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News, New York.
Still to come here on ABC 7, millions of French voters heading to the polls in what could be the most consequential elections the country has had in decades. How their vote could affect the European Union. And a shocking moment caught on camera, the back of a bus door flung open with a little girl holding on. What happened next when we return?
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Amazon Fire TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on the streaming device and download the free ABC7 channel app. Or if you don't have an Amazon Fire TV, you can get one at Amazon.com.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Because my parents told me I have to be responsible.
Because my first coach told me, you can do this.
Because my boss showed me how to do a good job.
Because my teacher helped me see the choices.
I'm swimming faster than I ever dreamed.
I am a valuable employee.
I discovered that I could work as an artist.
I will be whatever I want to be.
Youth with disabilities should grow up expecting to work and succeed. For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
I entered into real estate to help people. I would like to invoke a trust in people that I will do everything in my power to help them navigate the process of either buying or selling a home. Well, I know how stressful buying a home can be. I've bought and sold properties in the past before I was an agent. I want you to be able to trust me to stay in contact with you, be available to you whenever you have questions. My name is Kimberly, and I want to be your real estate agent.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
President Trump approaching a milestone in office, the first 100-day mark, but now a new poll shows where he ranks among past presidents at the same point in time. Compared to previous presidents, Trump isn't looking quite as good with just a 42% approval rating. However, Democrats have a popularity problem as well. The poll showing that 2 out of 3 Americans say the party is, quote, out of touch. Those polls coming in just before a big issue in Washington and fears over a looming government shutdown. Trump's plans to build a border wall with Mexico causing a major rift.
I can't imagine the Democrats would shut down the government over an objection to building a down payment on a wall that can end the lawlessness.
As I said, if the president doesn't insert poison pills that both Democrats and Republicans oppose or try to, there won't be a shutdown.
This week, the president also plans to unveil his long-awaited tax reform package, promising to be the biggest tax cut ever. An important election is getting its first round of votes in France today. Millions casting their ballot on what some are calling the most consequential election the country has had in decades. Molly Hunter reports from Paris.
And it's down to just 2. Marine Le Pen and this man, Emmanuel Macron, the frontrunner to become the next president of France. Sunday was the first round of the most disruptive election perhaps in history. 11 candidates in all, the latest test for the wave of populism gripping Europe. Here, the pro-Europe centrist newcomer striking an optimistic tone, telling his supporters he'll be the president of patriots in the face of the threat of nationalists. Facing off against the far-right radical nationalist Marine Le Pen, who would be France's first woman president. She's pledged to shut the borders and ditch the euro. telling her supporters, choose France, choose security and national identity. French voters went to the polls under a state of emergency and heightened security. Nearly 60,000 police and soldiers on the street just days after a terror attack in the heart of the French capital. An attack Le Pen says her policies are designed to prevent.
What do you think it would mean for France if Marine Le Pen won?
I don't know, but I don't want to know.
And late Sunday skirmishes as students demonstrated against Le Pen.
Now Macron and Le Pen head to round 2 on May 7th, a centrist candidate versus a far-right nationalist candidate. The outcome of this final round threatens to shake up Europe even more than Brexit. And tonight, a fierce 2 weeks of campaigning kicks off as the world watches. Molly Hunter, ABC News in Paris.
And now to a new development in the rising tensions between North Korea and the U.S. Officials say another U.S. citizen is now being detained in North Korea, bringing the number of Americans held there to 3. Korean-American Tony Kim was detained Saturday as he was trying to leave the country from Pyongyang's International Airport. Kim has taught accounting at the Pyongyang University of Science and Technology for the past 3 months. But according to the Swedish embassy there, the detention had nothing to do with Kim's work at the university, but did not know further details. No details on that detainment have been released. Frightening moments caught on camera. In this dramatic dash cam video, you can see a bus driving down a Highway 65 in Harrison, Arkansas, when suddenly that back door flies open and a 4-year-old girl is clinging onto the door. Look at that. She tries to hold on before dropping to the ground, her body rolling along the pavement as the bus drives away without noticing. But luckily, a licensed EMT and volunteer firefighter were driving behind the bus, and as you can see, they rushed into action.
I saw it happening, and it blew my mind. It was kind of like I wasn't even seeing what I was seeing. You know, it looked like it was a movie. We're in the middle of a state highway, so I couldn't leave her just laying there. You know, so I had to pick her up and get her off of the road.
And here's the good news. That little girl is expected to be okay, but she did sustain a broken jaw in the fall. So lucky for her.
That's just shocking.
Yep.
That is shocking to see, isn't it?
Yep. But timing is everything. Those people came to her aid, and thank God they were there,
oh,
right?
Thank goodness. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you know, there are a lot of things to be thankful for because we got the rain, which we needed yesterday, and we had a little bit more opportunity today, but most of those showers were down to the south and east. We had a low pressure system, a tropical low that formed down to the south around the Key West area, just south of there, as a matter of fact, and it came across the southern part of the state to the south of Lake Okeechobee, and it is now moved out into the Atlantic, and it brought copious amounts of rainfall to the southern part of the state and across the southeast. And because we've had all of these winds coming at us from the south and west, we're seeing that in advance of a cold front. You can see this frontal system right here. Now, just about an hour ago, very strong thunderstorms were moving on through, and those are beginning to break up right now. And in advance of this cold front, we've got, because of the southwesterly winds, we're starting to see some showers forming just off the coastline over the central part of the state and continuing to move off towards the east. So our area having seen just a couple of showers and some heavier rains too in pockets around the region, but for the most part it has been a quiet evening over the past couple of hours. We've seen some stronger showers and thunderstorms over Hillsborough County moving off towards the north. Not a whole lot going on right here, although we've had some scattered rains reported throughout the nighttime and also throughout parts of the afternoon today, but mostly it was a mixture of clouds and sun with a shower here and a shower there. A broader picture, though, showing you all the rain that they had along the east coast of Florida, and offshore, where we don't need it, in the water, we had over 6 inches of rainfall. Along the west coast, Fort Myers getting almost 2 inches in some locations, and you can see in Arcadia just 0.03 of an inch of rain for us. So certainly we didn't get the lion's share of anything today, and we only have a 20% chance of rain with this cold front coming on in, and we're starting to see some pop-up showers now beginning to develop across our region, but most of the wet weather is moving off towards the east when it does form, and as you can see right now, we're getting some showers down around Fort Myers area, a couple of showers now beginning to pop up, but they're dissipating pretty rapidly, and again, we're hoping to see the rain coming on in tonight. So what we've got is we've got the cold front that's going to continue to move on into the state. We have that high pressure or the low pressure system, which is the tropical low, merging with another one across the southeast, and we're expecting to see quite a bit of rain all the way through Tuesday across the eastern coastline. But once that cold front moves through, we're going to be getting fair skies and some cooler temperatures. This is what we can expect to see. Some cooler weather beginning Monday, Tuesday, breezy conditions both of those days, and we're only expecting a 20% chance of rain. After that, it clears up, and boy, does it warm up. Adam?
Now, sports.
Rays-Astros series continuing this afternoon at the Trop. The Rays tying that series at 1 apiece after a win last night. Early in the first inning, we got runners on first base for Logan Morrison. He smokes one to center. Jake Marisnick misplayed a liner last night that turned into a double, but no misplay there. He goes kamikaze, slamming into the wall, but he makes the catch. And once his players rally around him, he is all smiles on the ground. Marisnick would stay in the game. 2 batters later, Brad Miller finds some green in right field. Longoria able to score all the way from first. It's an RBI triple for Miller. Steven Souza Jr. would score him with a home run later in the inning, and the Rays go up 3-0 early. In the third, here come the Astros. Carlos Correa, 2-run shot to right there, puts Houston on the board. And then later on in the 5th inning, Jose Altuve with a solo shot off Rays starter Matt Andriese, and it is a 1-run game. Extra innings, this game's tied at 4. Brian McCann, the former Brave and Yankee, lines one into right. Carlos Beltran scores, and the Astros beat the Rays at home 6-4. Ryan Garten gets that loss for Tampa Bay. A former Florida Gator football star is facing misdemeanor charges. According to court records, NFL prospect Caleb Brantley was charged Friday night with battery after allegedly punching a woman in the face. A Gainesville police affidavit says Brantley and the woman, Chelsea Austin, were arguing when Austin pushed him, and the 300-pound defensive lineman responded by hitting her. Police say there were 2 witnesses who saw that exchange. Brantley was expected to be a top-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Well, integrity is what you do when no one is watching, and one NFL player was surprised to learn a young boy and his parents were watching him on a recent flight. Atlanta Falcons receiver Mohamed Sanu tweeting a note he received from that family thanking him for setting a positive example for their 10-year-old son. That family was sitting behind Sanu on the plane, explaining that their son was heading to Connecticut to train as a hockey player, and noticed that Sanu had good manners, healthy eating choices, and was studying his playbook the whole flight. Sanu writing on Twitter that the exchange definitely put a smile on his face. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC 7?
I like ABC 7 because it's local.
It gives me all the local news. The local news, local weather.
It's so local and so community-driven.
Kelly Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful. Stephanie's my favorite.
I like Scott Dennis.
I like them all.
We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
A 10-year-old girl in Fairfax, Virginia's dream of playing violin is finally becoming a reality. Isabella Cabrera was born without a left hand and only a partial bone from her left elbow to her wrist. But thanks to 5 George Mason University bioengineering students, Isabella now has a prosthetic attachment that will help make playing the violin much easier. The process of making that attachment started last fall and finished in a 3D printer.
Very happy and very blessed that I have this amazing group of people that have helped me make this attachment that I can play the violin with.
That final product took hundreds of hours to design and hundreds of hours of testing before it finally came out of that printer perfectly. It even got her name. Look at that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And the complete in pink. I assume that's the color she likes.
Of course. Isn't it nice? You can tailor make it for just exactly what you want.
It really
Isn't that
is.
great?
Certainly attention grabbing too.
I know, isn't that something? Well, we're only looking for a 20% chance of rain for tonight. We've got a cold front coming on through. It's only going to cool us off a titch,
I'll
just
take
a
it.
little bit.
I'll take it.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, good. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, Dad. We're getting so wet.